Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of City Sim Builds. In the previous episode, we did a lot of things. We built some new country roads, I'm going to call them, because I can't really say the word rural that well. I have like a really hard time saying that word, rural. I don't know. But anyway, we built some country roads. One of them was over here near the rock community, which we do have a name for. I'll talk about that in a second. But we extended this country road all the way over here to where we have the ocean. And then we also extended our ridge road as well. We extended it over this way. We created a little, I guess we would call it a mountain community, like a little tiny village up here. And then we created another one up here where we have this split. And added in what I'm hoping to be is just more like country type development, rural development. And then what we did was we made a few changes in town and everything, but the big thing that we did was we came in and upgraded the connection here to be a diamond interchange by connecting this road down to where it meets, I guess, like the main entrance of the city. For today's episode, I want to concentrate on a few things. I want to look at the traffic situation here and remedy that. I also want to come into this park over here and redo some things. First of all, I think it's a pedestrian area right now, and I want to make it a park area. And I also want to just make some other changes in the communities, like adding paths and making sure city services are upgraded and everything. And the main thing I want to do is continue to extend some of our country roads over here and over here on this side, and also extend our highway over here to where we're eventually going to build the larger city in this county. Before we get into today's episode, if you could hit the subscribe button and also like the video, and also leave a comment down below what you think we should do next with this build, and or leave your favorite emoji, or I don't know, just drop a comment down below saying hello. But with that, let's get into the episode. All right, so right off the bat, the first thing I want to take a look at is this traffic situation here. So I built this diamond interchange with the intention of improving traffic, and we seem to have issues here regarding our traffic. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to upgrade here what is called Taylor Drive. I really need to go and change some of these names. I don't really like the default names that the game gives you. But if you have any comments or suggestions on what you want to change these street names to be, the road names, please leave that down below in the comments. But what I'm thinking here is, instead of this being one lane for the off-ramp, I'm going to make it a 2-lane off-ramp. So I'm going to upgrade this just so it has a little bit more capacity. And then I think the other thing here is the junction controls. I want to go into TMPE and take a look at this. Right now, we are not allowing people to proceed through the intersection, which I definitely want to do. And then I think the other thing we have is this is stop controlled. All right, I see something. People are using this lane to turn, and I want this to be a left turn lane only. So I'm going to manually change this. We'll go in and then make our changes here as well, and then do the same thing here. Okay, that makes much more sense to me. The other thing I want to do is upgrade this road, and what I'm thinking is actually, I think that took care of everything. Okay. I was gonna add a slip lane here. I was going to make this also a 4-lane segment, but I think having this extra capacity here has really helped us out a lot. So we'll keep an eye on things here and see if things start to back up again. But I think things are looking pretty good with the diamond interchange. So, and while we're here, it seems we have a random power line. I don't know what happened. I guess I must have clicked something, and I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but while we're here, I want to go ahead and upgrade some of the roads here so they're not these gravel roads anymore. So I feel pretty good about the placement of this with the switchbacks and the grades and everything from what we did in previous episodes. So I'm going to continue this on. I'm going to use the picker tool, grab this road, and then I'm just going to start upgrading this road here. Okay, and that's got things covered. And what that's going to do, as you can see, is get rid of zoning for us. And I don't really want zoning on this road. We may come back and revisit that. I'm not really sure. But and if we do, for the most part, it might just be like a little pocket of zoning for a house or 2 or 3. But other than that, I really want to keep this to be a 2-lane highway. I want to go in also and adjust our speeds around these curves and make sure they're reasonable. So right now we have 100 kilometers an hour, which is about 55, 60 miles per hour roughly. I guess it's closer to 60. I'll let that roll because that's close to what the actual like free flow speed, like what you actually drive on a 2-lane road in a straight section. At least most people tend to go about 5 miles per hour over the speed limit here in the United States. But for these curves, I'm going to make them 40, which, as you can see, is 25 miles an hour. Because going around these curves at 100 kilometers an hour, or 62 miles per hour, that's not going to fly. You're going to have people flying off the side, and just is not good. So we'll upgrade these. I guess. Well, I don't want to say downgrade, but we're going to reduce the speeds here to be 40 on these hairpin turns. And I think things are looking pretty good with that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to take a look at was, actually, before we get into the High Point Park area, we did get a good comment here for naming this community, which I had been calling the Rock Community or the Roundabout Rock Community. So it needed a better name. I mean, I kind of like Roundabout Rock Community, I guess, for the alliteration, but yeah, we need to change this name. So if we go in and take a look at our districts, yeah, and for some reason the name is not popping up here. It should be like right here. You can see where it's selecting it. That's kind of bizarre, but we're going to call this Summit Peak. And that worked. That named it Summit Peak. And this came from the subscriber Pawsey. I think I'm saying your name correctly. If not, please let me know. But thanks again, Pawsey, for suggesting Summit Peak. I think that's a really good name for this community. Also, I had a friend of mine who has started watching my videos, and he thought of calling it, I think, Dwayne the Rock Town or something like that to get for it to be like, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. But anyway, I don't think we're going to name it after The Rock, but yeah, I think Summit Peak sounds good. So one of the other suggestions I had, which was also from Ash Moffat, who, if you recall from the previous episodes, who had made a lot of really great suggestions about the build so far. And they recommended having a workers' barracks in town, since this is kind of intended to be more like a workers' type community, So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And I think what I'm going to have to do, I've never done this before, but I think what I'm going to have to end up doing is taking our industrial area and creating a little pathway over here and then severing it so that it's part of the oil industry area. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm going to go in and find that oil industry workers barracks. So we have the maintenance building. Here we go, workers barracks. And I'm going to place that right here. And now that I have this in place, I went ahead and got rid of the like connector here that's connecting that. So I think that's a really good suggestion. So thanks, Ash, for making another great recommendation for that. The other thing I wanted to do was go into our public transit and take a look and see how things are really progressing with that. So I want to go to our lines overview, which I already have open here, and take a look at our express routes. So if you look at the Gold Express, right now we have 18 of 18 vehicles in service. We don't need 18 vehicles for a express service. I'm going to bring this down to, let's say, I'll do 5. I'll do 5 for each. And what this is going to do is be more realistic for our express service in terms of like what is actually in reality. In express service buses, you have longer headways, like the frequency between the buses is much longer, like 30 minutes maybe, or 40 minutes. So you don't need as much coverage in terms of the actual vehicles. So having that be so high before was really, I think, causing a strain on our budget. So that'll help us out for sure. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other express bus as well. Yeah, and this one was at 40. That we don't need that many buses. When you have that many buses, it's going to create a bus blockage. There's actually like a factor in for that in traffic engineering, where you have like a bus that stops, and you can account for like the amount of delay that's going to cause vehicles queuing behind that. So yeah, we don't need 40 for an express bus route, but I think that is looking pretty good. So one of the other things I wanted to take a look at was here in Rivertown, and that's one of our policies, and that's associated with the city in city planning. I wanted to enact this high-rise ban here because I don't really want high rises here, and that's something I've mentioned in previous videos. Maybe as this area sort of upgrades, it'll change the character of it a little bit. And actually, what I might do as a test is go in, remove this building. I am very sorry, folks. Not happy about that. Minus 132. Yeah. So let's speed things up and see what develops here. All right, and that is looking more like what I am intending for it to be here. It's a little bit more, I don't know, 70s or 1980s looking, but I don't know. I think I have some issues with my theme manager in terms of what is being selected with that, but I'm gonna let it roll. I like the height of that. But if you have any like suggestions or comments, or see something I'm doing something wrong in regards to the theme manager, please leave a comment down below, and that would really help me out. Get the aesthetics of this community the way I want it to be. So what I want to go and do now is change this from a pedestrian area to a park area. And so let's go ahead and change that real quick with our districts. So I am going to erase the pedestrian area, and we're going to go ahead and make this a park. And as you can see, it is not happy with us, but we're going to change that. We're going to go in and create a park area. All right, and that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and remove, what is that called? It's like the pedestrian area. I can't remember the name of it, but it's involved with like maintenance of the park and trash upkeep. So we're basically going to revisit this whole park area and make it a little bit better. At least I'm hoping we will. And everybody is upset. But I promise we're going to come back and have some nice, landscaping in here. We're also going to have some nice paths and some other amenities associated with the park's DLC. So let's go in and take a look at that. So looking at our parks, I'm going to go ahead and place some entrances here. So I'm trying to think. So for our park side gate, let's see. No, let's do our park main gate. And I think our park main gate makes sense to be placed right here. And I'm going to have to go in and remove, I think, a few buildings and some paths for this to work. Let me pause the game and then do this. So I really want this to terminate at the end of the street here. So I'm going to turn off some of my snapping. Having issues with my snapping. I'm probably doing something wrong, but I'm going to just go in to move it and manually change that. So we're going to keep our same entrances and everything around the park, but I just need to place side gates for those. You can see the land value around here just like drastically dropped, but that's okay. We're going to fix that. So let's go in and place our side gate here and here. Oh, I don't think that went where no, that's close enough. Okay. And we'll do this one. And then I think there was one more over here. Yep, right there. That'll work. All right, so I'm gonna go through, and zoom out really too far. Let's go ahead and get rid of these paths for now. So we have our main entrance and our side gates. Let's take a look at the paths that come with the park. So we have the tree line paths. I don't think I'm going to do that because I want to go in and maybe take some of the existing trees and place them in where it makes sense. And that way we don't have to rely on what the game is just going to default to with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and start placing some of our paths here. And for this, I'm going to use the freeform road tool, and we have collision on, so that should help us out. So I'm really just trying to think like here where this makes sense for it to go. And I think something like this to connect up to here. Let's actually back that off a little bit. We'll come meet in the middle. Okay, I'm liking that path connection. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's come in and add this one. And we'll have this kind of tee up at a 90. And then we'll come over here and get this side gate. And then we'll bring it up like that. And then let's add in this additional path. Okay. All right, that's looking a little bit more natural. I like that. So perfect. Okay. So one of the other things I wanted to do was attempt to put in some fencing around the park. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And with this, I'm definitely gonna have to play around, I think, with some of the snap twos and everything. But I'm gonna hug the edge of the park here. And as you can see, this is gonna get rid of some of our zoning. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But where we have houses, I'm gonna try and preserve, what's already there. So we'll come out and kind of skirt around some of these areas, like here where we have like a 1x2 development. So I'm gonna go through and place fencing around the rest of the park, and I'll be back shortly. And through here, I'm really trying to keep the fencing off a little bit from these houses so that it just kind of makes a little bit more sense in terms of like preserving their backyard. But it also adds, like, you see we have like a little bit of a drop here, and that'll help protect, people from maybe falling down the hill, or, I don't know. It's a worthwhile consideration, I think. And maybe what I'll do here is come up and meet the road, since we don't have any development, just kind of preserve some of that park space that we have. All right, I think that's going to do it for our fencing. And let's come in and take a look and see how things appear to be. So yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. So we have one of our side gates, and we'll let things speed up here. Actually, let me slow things down. That's like way too fast. So just so we can get like a feel of how things are looking with the fences. So let's pop in over here. So we're hugging the high school. That looks pretty good. We have an intense fence going up here, but I'm just gonna roll with it for right now. Okay, so we need a reason for people to come to this park, because as you can see, the land values are still low, and that's gonna affect things a lot. So we might have abandonments and people leave, and the development just kind of seizes up. So let's go in and place a few things. I think here in the center, it makes sense to have a nice park plaza. So this is gonna do things like just look kind of awful with the terrain. So let me rethink this. Let's go in and remove that. And I'm gonna level out some ground here, because I don't think that's terraforming to what we need. So we'll grab like this piece of ground right here, and we'll just come in and terraform a nice flat spot for this. And hopefully this will look a little bit better. Okay, so we got our plaza, and I think at this point I might use move it and see if I can back it up a little bit, and then I think that'll look good. What I thought I had in here was Surface Painter, and that would really tidy things up a little bit, but I apparently don't have that mod installed. I'm gonna have to fix that. So we'll come back and fix some of these things like with Surface Painter and everything later on in a future episode. But yeah, so let's go and place a few more park amenities where it makes sense. So we have a park cafe. I think that would be a great addition. Maybe we can put that by the high school, because I think that'll be a good spot for high school students to maybe go during lunch and come over, or maybe also, folks from town can walk up the road here and go to the park and get a bite to eat or something like that, and walk around and enjoy some of the amenities. So at the main entrance, let's do a park info booth. I think that'll work out nicely. So let's take a look at that. Did that mess up our fencing? I think it did because I had anarchy on. So let's relocate this building. I'll put that there. And that is doing some really funky terraforming things as well. So the moral of the story with this is I need to go in and terraform where I want to have, just like some of these nice amenities that don't really terraform to the land. And we'll come back and smooth things out later, or maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I think that looks much more reasonable, and it's probably overkill in the terraforming, but that's okay. We have one of these park chessboards. They're kind of fun. Might see if we can add one of those in. We'll do that. And then let's take a look and see what else we have. Also, let's make our park free and take a look at our policies. We'll do an advertisement campaign. We'll make this our main park for this town because it definitely is. Let's do fireworks. We'll allow it. Do some night tours, even more fun. Sure. And I think that'll be good. So we'll see how quickly we can level up the park as well. Right now we're at level 1, and we basically just need more visitors. And so let's see if we can take care of that. Okay, and some of the things that we need are going to be park restrooms. And the reason we need restrooms is, well, because that's an obvious thing. Everybody's got to go, right? So not liking the way this is terraforming, I'm going to leave that though. But let's go in and place a few more restrooms. Maybe we can do 3 for the park total. We'll put one here in the middle as well. That's looking good. And it looks like we're getting some usage in the park now, which is fantastic. So let's take a look at the park area info. We're getting more visitors. Let's speed things up a little bit and see how things progress. All right, so we're at 100 visitors, and I think that is looking good. We still have some land value issues, so let's go in and maybe add a few other regular park assets, like a dog park or something like that. Like the game really likes dog parks for whatever reason, but yeah, so I'm gonna definitely go in and place that. So this needs to be placed along a roadside. I wonder if we can cheese the game, if this will mess up our fence. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Okay. And I think that's good. I think that's looking pretty good. So maybe what we can do is just get rid of a portion of this fence and assume that people are getting to it okay, and not like breaking the rules. And well, I guess it doesn't matter about that because the park is free. The fence is kind of just there for decorative purposes. So yeah, that's fine. I'm being a little bit too I guess worried about that, but we'll back this off a little bit, and that way people can come in and enjoy the dog park. So let's think about what else we can add in here. Oh, and I'm seeing something here that is going to be an issue. We need water through here, and so let's go through and put water pipes underneath these pathways and connect things up, because we definitely have a area where we're missing coverage. People are still not happy about me removing the pedestrian area, but they're just gonna have to deal for a little bit. Maybe we can place a few more amenities and hopefully things will improve. And some of this too is also we need to just upgrade the park in terms of its leveling. So how are we doing? We're at 160. Okay. So maybe what I can do is place like a small playground or something like that. I'm trying to find a good spot for this. I think I'm gonna place it over here near this side entrance. Actually, we have an elementary school there. That's not good. Okay, so let's not get rid of the elementary school. So let's go in and maybe place it here. And for some reason, it is not allowing me to do that. So I am going to see if I can move it and then rotate it. Okay, and I think this is a failure, so I'm gonna just get rid of this, and let's take a look and see how we're doing with our visitors here. All right, we're at 304, so we're getting there, We're probably gonna see some abandonment and stuff like that, and I think that's just gonna have to be the case, but maybe there's another asset I can place in here. Let's take a look. Let's put in like an ice cream van. I think that'd be cool. So maybe we can come up here and place this right there. And then what do we have here? We have a food stall. Let's see if we can do that as well. We can maybe place this here at the end of this path. We'll rotate that around. I keep spinning too much. Oh no. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. And then we also have this other food stall. So maybe we can place this. It's kind of hard to see the front of it. I think there. That way we just have like a couple little spots. And maybe I'll grab, let's do this one. And then we'll place another one over here. Maybe we can do it on the other corner. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, so park info, 375. I really want to level this up to level 2. And I really don't understand why people are so upset about this, because we do have a really good park here, and it's free. And is there any other policies we can enact? I think this is more for like zoos and stuff like that, so I'm not going to do that. I think that's okay. I think that's about as good as it's going to get for that. So we're just going to speed things up and see how and if things improve. And maybe what I'll do is take the opportunity, since we do have some abandonments here, I'm just going to place a dog park because everybody loves the dog park apparently. So let's go grab that, and I'll place that there. I think that'll be good. And that makes everybody happy, and we'll see if things improve with this area over time. But one of the last things I want to do is go in and place some trees. All right, so I really want to place some oaks in here. I don't really see too many oak trees, I feel like. So it's just something I really want to place. So let's grab oak trees. And let's see, I'm wondering if this is the best tree though to line some of these paths. So let's take a look. So we have tree with leaves number 2. It's a very inventive name. I don't think a redwood would fit well in here. They're way too big. Let's take another look. I'm kind of liking these flowering trees. So I think I'm gonna place a line of these along our paths. Let's zoom out and take a look at the park and see how it looks. They kind of look like little, I don't know, like pom-poms or something like that. I kind of like them. Oh, that is not the right tree. That is weird. I don't know why that is selecting the wrong tree. Okay, well, I'm gonna let that roll. So, and maybe on the other side we can have a different kind of tree. Maybe a sugar maple? Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, and these sugar maples really blend in well with the existing assets here, and I think these are sugar maples, and it looks like we've leveled up to level 2, which is great, and we're definitely getting more and more visitors. So I'm gonna let things be. I think this is a definite improvement. Let me know what you think down below, and if you have any suggestions for what else we should add in Briarwood Garden. I don't know. I think we could have a better name here. I mean, originally it was High Point Park. Maybe in the meantime we'll call it Peak Park. That way it gives, homage to the area with all the peaks and mountains, but also it's like the Peak Park, like the top park in Rivertown. So I think that'll be good. But if you have a different name suggestion, I'm totally open to that. And I'm about to change things up again here. All right. So Peak Park, level 2, goal accomplished. Okay. So one of the other things I wanted to do was really take a look back here at our country roads, and I want to do a switchback that comes down like this. just because when we tried this last time in the previous episode, it didn't work out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So I'm trying to think where I want to come in, and I might add an area of residential over here. So I'm going to put a little piece of flat ground about in here, I think. And then we'll do something over here as well. So we have our little pad over here. Let's expand that out a bit more. And then we'll come down over here somewhere along, maybe here. And we'll flatten out a section. We might need another one down here, and then maybe we can tie in with a nice 90 following one of the contour lines here. I think that's a good idea. So we'll add another little pad there. It's looking pretty good. All right, so let's grab our gravel road, and then let's see if we can start placing, actually, we need to grade the actual road, and of course, open the budget panel. Maybe that would be a, maybe in a future update, they can change the placement of that. I don't know. Maybe that's not a big deal, but it's something I am constantly doing, and I know other people do it that play this game and make content for it as well. So we'll come up here and we'll add a nice section of, actually let's increase our brush size a little bit and also the strength. Maybe not that big. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe the strength was the issue. So let's go up. All right, that's looking good. We'll do the same thing for this. And this one I'm gonna kind of carry it around a little bit more. That way, if we put some like more hillside type developments in here, we can do that. And then we'll do the same thing from over here. And then last but not least, we'll come in and see if we can have it tie in nicely to here. All right, excellent. I think that's looking pretty good. I might make a change here. I think I went a little too far out with this one. So I might make it be a little bit more straight. So we'll grab that, come back down here, and level this out through here and up to here. And I went a little bit too far, but that's okay. So, and I'm gonna place the road, and then I'm gonna come back and smooth out the terrain. So now let's grab our 2-lane gravel road, and then we're gonna just start weaving our road down here. All right, and then let's tie this off and meet it up with roughly a 90. Let's put our snap tubes back on. And I wonder if this will help us. Okay. Then maybe what I'll do is just place what I'm looking for there, and then maybe back this off a little bit, and then go in and make this connection like that. Okay. All right. That is looking pretty good. Okay. So some of these areas I had to make the switchbacks a little bit wider, and I think that's fine. That's realistic in my opinion. You often see that just as you get to a curve like this, when it's a complete 180 degree maneuver, you want to go to the left to slow people down a little bit, and that way when they go and make the actual movement that turns them in the opposite direction, they're already at a slower speed. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and smooth out some of this terrain. And as I'm doing that, I realized I did not check the slopes. Let's check the slopes in here first. So we'll go from here to maybe here. And we do have some issues, so let's fix that. And then go from here to around the bend. Okay, fix that. 3.2s, that's very reasonable. Maybe go from here to here. See what we got. 4.3, that's fine. And then we'll go over here and check this out. All right, yeah, we definitely have some problems there. Okay. And we'll come back and smooth that out, and that'll be fine. And then we'll come up here to say there. 6.5. Actually, let's take this and have it come down. Can we make it go all the way down here? No, it's not liking that. Let's try it from this way. I guess that's too far. Let's maybe try it to here. Okay. All right, now let me go back and smooth this out real quick and open the budget panel, of course. All right, that's looking really good, I think. Okay, let's come and take a look. So I bet we could place a little bit more residential, especially over here. And maybe what we can even do is see if we can have another road that connects and comes down over like this, and have some developments that maybe either cul-de-sac or kind of, I don't know, just have like a nice connection over. So I'm gonna just wing this, and then we'll come back and see if we need to make any adjustments with our slope terrain tool. And then yeah, let's go in and take a look at that. Okay, definitely have some issues there, so we'll raise that up, and let's go in and slope the terrain. Okay, make that a little bit more gradual, and then maybe what we can do through here is provide a few direct connections over. This doesn't have to be, perfect by any means, just kind of more meandering, and I don't know, have a more country development kind of component to it. Then maybe we can have some connections that line up through here, something like that. Actually, let's see if we can find 90 and then come off, do something like that, and then maybe have something that does like that. Okay, and then this, I think we're just going to end up providing a cul-de-sac option. Oh, nice. Our park went up to level 3. We get gazebos now. That's pretty cool. Oh, and then, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So let's go in and add our low residential through here. And I want to be thoughtful about how this is placed. So I'm going to go through and just manually select spots in here. And now that we have some development happening here, we're going to have to put some pipes under the roads and provide power. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quickly. And I think some of the water piping here is probably a little unnecessary, but I think that's all right. All right, so I'm gonna go in and place a little bit more residential here where it makes sense. And I think for this area, I'm just gonna zone it a little bit more robustly, I guess. And then, yeah, actually, let me remove this here. And then along the roadways, I want it to be a little bit more sparse, have like a 3x3 plot that's separated by like 1 or 2 units of residentials, something kind of like that. So maybe like that, and so forth. All right, this is looking pretty good. I like this sort of suburban, rural kind of development that's happening. Yeah, zoom in here and take a look at some of the homes. We have some like mid-century modern type homes in here, which is pretty funny to me. But yeah, let's take a look up here. What's going on here? We have some issues with our commercial. What's going on? So not enough customers. So hopefully this will get resolved. Maybe what we can do is upgrade the roads through here, and maybe that will provide a little bit better access. And I'm using this like simple 2-lane road because I want to preserve the zoning along here just in case we need it down the road. I think that'd be nice. And as I'm looking at this, I also need to place a few city type services. So I'm going to place, I think, like a fire station, maybe a medical clinic. I think we should be good with police coverage. But I might do something like an elementary school as well. Or maybe like I'll do like a community school. So let's go and place those. Yeah, so our police coverage is good. I think I'm gonna let that be. And then we'll place one of these smaller fire stations up here. And I'm gonna put it, let's see, right there. That looks like a good spot. Then maybe what we'll do is, I think we have like a community school. And this is a small and safe community school, allows children to get to education and grow into educated adults. It's alternative to an elementary school. So I guess it's like a charter school. I don't really know. But yeah, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll add one park up here. And we got to do it. We have to add a dog park. And everybody's happy. Because why not, right? Who wouldn't be happy with the dog park? So let's come back here and take a look. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to let this continue to fill in. And for once, our residential demand is not through the roof, which is nice. The last thing I wanted to do for today's episode is really work on getting this highway connection over here. So I'm going to start off by grading. Let's take a look here real quick and see what we have going on. We have this span here that we're going to have to make. And this map really does have some unforgiving terrain that is just not realistic. Like this whole waterfall situation, I don't like. I wish it was just mountain. I know I've mentioned that before. Like what is this? Like here, this like little rocky outcrop up here. I think what I might do eventually is make this whole like mountain peak a nature preserve or something like that, or just like some sort of park area and tied into these more rural communities. But we really need to extend this highway over this way and then have it cross here and then gently make its way down the mountain. And I eventually wanted to have it come around and meet up with this highway. And that's going to be a challenge. And I think one of the things we might have to do is, especially right here, is do a tunnel. But that's going to be later down the road. For right now, I just want to focus on getting this highway over here and kind of wrapping around, because that's going to play into how we develop our larger city over here. And if you have a name suggestion for what this city could be, please leave that down in the comments below. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to work on this. The grades here don't look too terrible, especially as you come up here, but I'm going to go ahead and pre-grade and try to think about where we're going to cross this gorge. I don't know what you call this, but I'm going to start off by placing one of the gravel roads as a bridge to go across here and just see kind of where it ends up and how it's kind of feeling to me. So I'm going to force this in the air, and then I want it to come over here like this and meet somewhere like that. And this is going to dip it down, and I don't want that. I want it to be, well, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know, maybe I will leave it sort of dip down, and we'll just have some cuts into the hillside here. That might make better sense. That way you don't have such very large piers there. So with that, I'll leave that connection like that, and then I'm gonna come over here and start. I'm gonna start doing some grading work to slope things up there. So we're gonna increase our brush size to 159. That's fine. Maybe we'll do closer to 200. Yeah, and then let's go ahead and grab this area, and then we'll zoom out, and then start from here, and we'll just start curving around and up. It looks like we're gonna go through that rock formation there, but maybe we can use the power of move it to move those rocks. So let's think about that. Let's go and select just props, and we'll grab these. Oh, and I am in the better bulldozer. That is not what I want to be in. So let's grab this and just scooch that over and right there. That way it's not terraforming. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and start placing our roads. And let's force this back to the ground. And then we're going to turn on our road guidelines again. And then I'm going to use the curve road tool and not the freeform road tool. And let's zoom out a little bit. Whoa, not that far on. Yeah, something like that, just so we can get an idea of where we are going. So I might make this even more of a sweeping turn. Let's look right here. So maybe we'll do something like that, and then do we meet up with it? I don't think we do. Okay. let me take a look at this and I'll be back in a sec. That's the connection I was looking for. All right, I think that's looking really nice. Let's check the grades here. So we'll start here. And can we make it all the way here? Yeah. So we have 4.5. I think that's good. I think I'm gonna stay with that. And if I remember correctly, if we do parallel road tool, I think it's about 32 meters from here to here. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So let's use our parallel mode. We'll start here. Actually, no. To make things easier, we'll turn around this way, just so it'll line up easier on my end. And we'll start here. Actually, no. Let's start not on the bridge. Let's start on the land. And I got rid of it. Okay. Start here. Go all the way. Sorry for the crazy mouse zoom in and out stuff, but plus, 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 plus. And I think that is going to do it for us. Okay. We'll have to fix whatever is going on here. That's really odd. And truthfully, I'm going to just get rid of that. I don't know what I deleted here. What am I deleting? Okay. This is very strange. If I delete that, it's almost like there's two segments here. I guess I may have placed two segments. That's really odd. That is really odd. Yeah, I think I did. So I'm gonna go through and remove these extra segments here. That's looking much better, much better. And I don't think these two nodes are joined together. So let's use our union node tool. And let's take a look here. Yeah. So will it let me do that? Yes, it will. Perfect. Okay. So then I am going to also bring this across as well. And I'm just noticing that my angle indicator here is gone. I don't really know what happened with that. So that's snapping too. So I'm gonna leave that in place, and I just created a dam. Okay, let's try that again. So let's start here and come all the way to here. Okay, perfect. And I think I'm gonna slope this bridge, or these bridges rather, separately. So let's go in and take a look at the slopes here. I just wanna see what happens. Okay, that's not realistic. We're gonna have to make a change with that. Okay. Yeah, that's much better, much better. Okay, we are gonna have a taller pier here, and that's fine. I think I was being kind of silly about that earlier, but so let's do the same thing for this side. Okay, perfect. I think what I'm gonna do here is use the left side so we can start hugging the terrain of this mountain and really have it gradually start to go down. And I think I'm gonna have to terraform through here. Yeah, so I'm really trying to get to about here somewhere. And to do that, it's gonna require to really grade out this area through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And of course, open the budget panel, because we have to do that. So I'm thinking somewhere in here, right here. I'll create a flat pad and we'll work from that. All right, and I think that's looking pretty good. We might have some issues with the curve here, so I'm gonna bump this out a little bit more. So we'll come here, and right through here, we'll fan this out a little bit. And this would be a significant amount of earthwork that you would be doing for this sort of project, but sometimes when you do this, especially when we go back and we smooth things out a little bit, you know, but you do these sorts of things in real life, especially in mountainous areas, if you're creating a very large fill section for a interstate. And I'm kind of treating this as an interstate. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish this section of the road. And don't forget to put this back on the ground, and then we'll curve this around like that. And then come around, start here, and try to stay a little bit closer to the mountainside until we get down here. And I think truthfully we can have this just be a straight section. So my angle's back on. That's weird. I don't know what was causing that. Perfect. And now we should be able to just use our parallel mode and get this section squared away. All right. So I think what I did before where I had that like overlapping section was when I had that like that, when I was bumping it out 32 meters, I think I hit enter twice, and I think it placed the road twice. So that's not what I wanted, but it looks like these two nodes are not connected. So let's join these. And then I'm going to now go back over here and grab our highway section, and we're going to upgrade this whole section of highway. And I made a mistake here. Need to make sure this is in the air. And I'm also making a mistake now. So I'm gonna, this is in the air right now. I need to force that to the ground. But while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and upgrade this bridge section so I don't have to worry about that later. All right, and I think that is looking really good. All right, let's come in and take a look. All right, so here's our new highway section, and it's coming up through here, looking good. We do have a grade issue. I might try and see if I can smooth that out. You typically, wouldn't have this sort of jump situation. This needs to be a much more gradual vertical curve, so I'm gonna fix that. But I think over here, that looks okay. I think it needs to be flattened a little bit, but this looks good here. And I realized I didn't check the grades on this section. I'm gonna do that as well. But this gets us to where we need to be in terms of getting the highway over here to where we're gonna build our larger city, which will be where the confluence of this river meets the ocean. So, but let's do a few more things here. And I guess I have a few segments here that are backwards. So we'll reverse that and that. I think that takes care of all the angry T signs. I don't know what those are really called, but yeah. So let's take a look at some of these grades real quick before we wrap up today's episode. So let's look at this and then have it go across to say there. And if we hit enter, I'm kind of nervous to do that. Okay, yeah, that's not quite what I was hoping to do, but unfortunately, with that, you can't undo it. But that, okay, I think that's just gonna have to be what it is. So we'll do the same thing on this side so that things match up. We can always come back and terraform later on. So now let's take this and bring it back to say here. JK, let's try the other direction. Okay, it's not liking me doing that. Let's try a shorter section. Let's try to say from here. Okay, that's looking good. And we'll do the same thing on this side so it's even. Let's come down and take a look. All right, that's much, much more reasonable. Okay. And then down here, did that take care of our little bump issue here? Yes, it did. Okay. So let's take a look at this slope. We'll come around down to here. 6.5, I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll do the same thing coming up this way. 6.7. Yep, I mean that's a pretty intense grade, but it's not bad. It's under 8. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay. So now I'm going to, now that we're pretty much down close-ish to the well, not flat, but it's much more flat than, say, whatever this is. I'm pleased with that. So the last thing I'm going to do for today's episode is terraform through here just to make it look a little bit more natural. And that is not at all what I'm trying to do. Oh, goodness. I need the soften terrain tool. Yeah. I'm not trying to create massive hydro issues here. So we'll just make this blend in a bit more to the landscape, as if the the cut and fill and everything was not as intense as it actually needed to be. Yeah, that's looking much better, much better. I don't like what it's doing here where it's like, okay, let's see if the river kind of resolves itself a little bit. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. But yeah, I am liking that. I'm liking that. So let's take one quick look here. We'll come around, fly around over here. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Really nice. Okay. And our diamond interchange is looking good. And then let's go back over here and check on the ridge. Zoom in. Yeah, take a look at that. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I'm not a big fan of these palm trees. They don't really fit well in this environment to me. I feel like this is a much more temperate environment, but yeah, it's looking good. And then we have our brand new, more suburban, I guess mid-century modern-ish development down here. Need to go in and adjust some of the themes here, but I like the way this looks. Like you got some, if you're here, you know, you could have some like really nice views from the pool, like down to the river. And yeah, I think that looks nice. Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoy the video, please leave a comment down below and don't forget to hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That will really, really help me out. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all back at the next episode. And until then, take care and we'll see you then. All right. Bye.